Horses appear to have been a large part of the Solutrean diet in areas that they were common. North of the Pyrenees, reindeer were also very commonly hunted. In Iberia, the fauna was more diverse and their sites reflect this. Ibex, red deer, rabbits, aurochs, bear, cave lion, woolly rhinoceros, and mammoths all appear to have been hunted. Out of these animals, red deer, ibex, and rabbits appear to have been the most common prey items in Iberia. Smaller animals are typically harder to detect in the archaeological record due to the fragile nature of their remains. Early European archaeologists overlooked the role that some of these smaller animals played in the lives of prehistoric people. In Solutrean Iberia, rabbits made up an important part of the diet of many groups. Rabbits may not have the most meat, though they are often abundant and relatively easy to catch. Simple throwing sticks can be used to harvest them rather than a complicated well-made spear or dart. At some sites in Solutrean Iberia, hundreds or even thousands of rabbit remains can be found. At the site of Gruta del Cadrau in Portugal, 1,300 rabbit remains were found. Evidence indicates that they were directly hunted or trapped by Solutrean people. Larger and more dangerous animals would have been prey from time to time. Predators in general would have been a constant concern for these people. The butchery of carcasses would have attracted various animals ready to fight over their remains. Their heavy reliance on caves and rock shelters would have also led to some intense close-quarter encounters with bears and cave lions. These animals may have been largely avoided as we do not have much evidence of these encounters. Run-ins with angry prey animals would have also been just as dangerous. Even the average deer can cause significant injuries if unlucky. Hunts gone wrong with larger animals could have been fatal. Animals such as Megaloceros, aurochs, and bison were hunted, and it is likely that even larger animals such as woolly rhinoceros and woolly mammoth were taken from time to time. The Solutreans certainly had the technology to take down these animals. As we know, some Gravettians were able to routinely take down mammoths with arguably simpler technology. Direct evidence of mammoth or rhinoceros hunting is not available, though it was certainly in their capability. Like other Upper Paleolithic cultures, many of the animals hunted by these people were heavily processed. During times of struggle, all of the meat, fat, bone marrow, and many of the organs were consumed. Heat-cracked rocks at Solutrean sites in Iberia suggest that they may have been used to boil water. They are often found associated with bones which may have been boiled to release their grease. Smashed bones have been found at archaeological sites since the Lower Paleolithic. This is typically because humans were getting at the calorie-rich marrow found inside. Though simply smashing the bones misses out on all the grease that lies in the spongy tissue. Boiling these bones allowed them to get access to all of the often overlooked calories. This grease could have been eaten right away or possibly mixed with dried meat to create pemmican. Pemmican is a calorie-dense food that can store for a long time and was often utilized by native people to make it through hard winters or to snack on during long journeys. Aquatic plants and animals were another resource that was relied upon during the Solutrean. Many Solutrean sites are found near the coast, and many are now submerged. Even the sites quite far from the coast display that aquatic resources were consumed and items such as shells were traded. Marine mollusks were commonly exploited across the shores of Iberia. At some sites, hundreds or even thousands of fish bones have been found. The remains of marine animals such as seals are occasionally found at their sites, though they were likely scavenged on the beach. At the site of Nerja in Spain, the bones of cod and sea bream have been found. These are marine fish that are not easy to catch from shore. It raises the possibility that these people were using some kind of watercraft in order to catch these fish. We know that Neanderthals and even Homo erectus were able to travel to islands vast distances off of shore. Solutreans would have certainly been capable of creating some kind of primitive watercraft, though exactly what kind is not known. Dugout canoes seem like an obvious answer, but they typically need specialized adzes to be created, something we don't see in the Solutrean. It is possible more complicated animal-skinned or reed vessels were created, though this is just speculation at this point. Besides the coast, other aquatic resources were gathered inland such as trout and large salmon. These animals were likely speared as we do not have evidence of hooks from this time period. The hooks are often made of organic materials, so it's neither here nor there. Plants and fungi were also heavily relied upon during the Solutrean. Typically, it is difficult for them to be noticed in the archaeological record, though we do know the Solutreans were eating them. Crowberries and pine nuts have been found at one site. It is likely that